GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, Montreal. I'm Lauren Dupuis. We'll explore the new tree map exposing inequality, a surge in data breaches, and today's severe thunderstorm watch. Traffic's light aside from roadwork and a bridge closure for fireworks. Jazz Festival kicks off tonight. Over to you, Ryan.
The Montreal Canadiens have dealt veteran forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks for future considerations.
The trade was completed earlier this week, sending Gallagher to Vancouver in exchange for undisclosed future considerations.
Just days before his trade, Brendan Gallagher received honorary citizenship from the City of Montreal during a ceremony at City Hall.
All right, let's get into it and start the day with our top news stories, right after this brief pause. Good morning, Montreal. City planners unveiled a detailed map today that charts the distribution of street trees across the island, revealing stark gaps that line up with neighborhood income levels. In affluent districts such as Westmount and the Plateau, canopy cover exceeds 20%, while many lower-income areas on the northeast fringe fall below 5%. Researchers say the disparity matters because urban trees lower heat, improve air quality, and support mental well-being. The map, produced by the Municipal Environment Office, will be updated monthly as officials track planting efforts and community initiatives. The City Council has pledged additional funding for tree planting in the most underserved quarters, aiming to narrow the gap over the next few years. Officials stress the tool is meant to guide future greening projects and to ensure the health and climate benefits of trees reach every resident. The assessment remains ongoing as data continues to be collected and analyzed.
Data breaches across Quebec have surged dramatically, climbing 559% over the past 3 years, the Quebec Access to Information Commission reported. Cybersecurity researchers warn the spike is driven largely by theft of medical records, which now fetch between $250 and $1,000 per person on the black market. The Commission's analysis shows health information is the most valuable category of personal data, outpacing financial and identity details. Experts say the high resale price reflects the richness of clinical histories, prescription data, and diagnostic images. Authorities are urging organizations to strengthen safeguards, but the report underscores a growing threat to patient privacy and a market hungry for sensitive health files. The trend marks an urgent challenge for Quebec's digital security landscape. Stakeholders are urged to review protocols without delay.
The Freychet administration unveiled a province-wide housing push today, targeting roughly 30 regions with brand-new prefabricated neighborhoods. Each community will feature factory-built homes priced below $350,000, aiming to broaden affordable options for families and first-time buyers. Officials said the modular approach speeds construction and cuts costs, allowing the government to roll out dozens of units faster than traditional builds. The plan aligns with Quebec's broader strategy to increase supply of low-cost housing and address lingering shortages in both urban and rural areas. While details on timelines remain under review, the announcement signals a commitment to innovative solutions that can be replicated across the province's diverse landscape. The prefabricated model also promises reduced environmental impact through less waste and tighter energy standards. The government plans to partner with local builders and municipalities to select sites, with the first communities expected to break ground later this year.
Yesterday, the Ministry of Public Security issued a tornado risk warning for the southwestern part of the province after a bout of severe thunderstorm activity. Meteorologists said the atmospheric conditions across that area met the criteria for possible tornado formation, prompting officials to alert residents to remain vigilant. The warning covers municipalities stretching from the Richelieu Valley toward the St. Lawrence lowlands, where wind gusts have already reached hazardous levels. At the same time, severe thunderstorm alerts remain in effect for multiple regions throughout Quebec, including parts of the Montérégie and Estrie. Emergency services are on standby, and local shelters have been prepared for rapid deployment should a tornado touch down. Authorities urged people to monitor updates on local radio and the provincial weather portal, and to secure outdoor objects that could become projectiles.
Police will gather at the Bell Center on Tuesday for a solemn memorial honoring Officer Mohamed Lamin Benridwan, who was fatally shot earlier this year while on duty. The Montreal Police Service is coordinating the ceremony, which will include a moment of silence, the presentation of the officer's flag-draped badge, and remarks from senior SBVM officials. Families, colleagues, and city leaders are expected to attend, reflecting the broad community response that followed the tragedy. The event, scheduled to begin in the early evening, will also feature a tribute video recounting the officer's service and the circumstances of his death. The Bell Center, traditionally a sports venue, has been transformed for the occasion, underscoring the city's commitment to honoring those who give their lives in the line of duty. Municipal flags will be lowered to half-staff at noon, and the public may attend after the program. Up next, we'll examine the Canadiens' lock-up Russian forward, Ivan Demidov, with 8-year deal and impact for Montreal hockey. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches, no middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's dive into today's headlines, and now Ryan Mercer will take us through the top local stories you need to hear.
Yesterday, the Montreal Canadiens secured Russian forward Ivan Demidov with an 8-year contract extension, locking the winger into the roster as free agency opened. The deal, announced at the Bell Center, gives the club a proven scorer for the foreseeable future and frees up speculation about his future. Demidov, who posted 24 goals and 32 assists last season, will now count on a stable salary situation while the team reshapes its lineup. General Manager Kent Hughes said the extension reflects confidence in Demidov's ability to contribute in both offensive and defensive roles. Fans in the city can expect to see the forward in the blue line for the next several seasons, adding continuity as the Canadiens pursue a deeper playoff run. The signing also signals that the organization is committed to building around a core of homegrown and international talent.
Yesterday, roughly 600 tenants gathered in the city to protest the surge in housing costs. Demonstrators marched through main streets, holding signs that called attention to the scarcity of affordable rentals. Organizers said the rapid climb in rent prices has left many families struggling to find suitable homes, and they urged officials to address the imbalance. Police reported the protest remained peaceful, though traffic was briefly disrupted near the downtown core. The demonstration follows months of data showing rent rates climbing well above wage growth, tightening budgets for renters across the region. City officials have yet to announce concrete measures, leaving participants hopeful that their voices will prompt policy review. The rally underscores the growing tension between housing demand and supply, a challenge many local households are facing daily.
Environment Canada issued a severe thunderstorm watch for several regions across the province on July 1st, and the alert remains active today. The watch covers areas from the Laurentides down to the eastern townships, warning of intense downpours, damaging winds, and frequent lightning. Meteorologists say conditions could produce sudden flooding in low-lying streets and pose hazards for anyone outdoors, including commuters and weekend cyclists. Residents are advised to keep windows secured, avoid unnecessary travel during heavy rain, and stay tuned to local updates for any escalation to a warning. The agency stresses that the watch is part of its routine monitoring of hazardous weather and will stay in force until conditions subside. Authorities are prepared to respond quickly if the storms intensify. They also warn that strong gusts could bring down tree branches and power lines, potentially causing brief outages.
Environment Canada issued a heat wave warning for southern Quebec on July 1st, noting that the humidex could climb to 45. That level is considered dangerously high, prompting the agency to advise people to limit outdoor activity, stay hydrated, and seek shade during the peak heat. The warning follows a string of unusually warm days that have already pushed indoor temperatures above comfort levels, making it difficult for residents to keep homes cool without running air conditioners at full blast. Health officials remind that extreme humidity can strain heart and lung conditions, especially for seniors and those with chronic illnesses. Schools and workplaces are urged to provide water breaks and consider flexible schedules. The agency will continue monitoring conditions and may extend the advisory if the humidex remains elevated. Electricity demand is expected to surge as households rely on cooling devices throughout the day.
Hydro-Quebec announced yesterday a proposal to introduce a new electricity tariff targeting the province's highest consumption households. The rate would apply to residences that draw large amounts of power, including homes with heated pools, spas, or garage-based climate control. Under the plan, these heavy users would face higher charges than typical households, a shift intended to reflect the cost of supplying substantial loads. The utility, which regularly reviews residential pricing, said the move aims to balance the system's overall affordability while ensuring that large-scale users contribute proportionally. Officials indicated the proposal will be examined by regulators before any final decision, and they expect public consultations to follow. If adopted, the new structure could alter monthly bills for a segment of homeowners who rely on extensive electric heating or cooling equipment in the coming months.
Let's take a quick look at today's morning forecast and see what the sky has in store.
A deepening ridge and westerly jet are locking in scorching highs while keeping rain at bay. On this date, the all-time high for Montreal sits at 35.3 degrees, set during the extreme heat wave of 2018. The record low is 13.2 degrees, recorded in the bitter snap of 2016. Normal July highs hover around 29 degrees and lows near 22, so today's forecast sits well above the climatological average. Those historic extremes remind us how a persistent ridge can push temperatures into the mid-30s, while a sudden Arctic dip can plunge the city into the low teens. The live radar shows a thin line of showers sliding eastward from the Ontario border across the South Shore. The westerly jet at about 71 kilometers per hour is steering the band toward the island, where it should arrive by 10 a.m., thicken through the afternoon, and peak around 8 p.m. after that the system will exit eastward. Leaving clear skies by 10 p.m., the map remains largely dry elsewhere. At 7, Montreal sits under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 22 degrees and humidity near 94%. A gentle southwest breeze at 13 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 39, adds a fresh feel despite the heat. Pressure is near average and beginning to rise, allowing drier, more stable air to filter in from the west. The westerly jet at 71 kilometers per hour aloft reinforces the ridge, suppressing any lingering convection. The day will climb to a high of 33 degrees with the UV index at 5. Winds will strengthen to 27 kilometers per hour from the southwest by mid-afternoon. Heat warnings remain in effect for the greater Montreal region, so stay aware of the elevated temperatures. No precipitation is expected, and the sky will stay clear through the evening. Thursday continues the ridge with a clear sky and a high near 31 degrees, low around 22. Friday mirrors Thursday, keeping the sunshine and another 31-degree peak. Saturday introduces a slight dip as the jet shifts north, bringing a chance of rain at 35% and temperatures easing to a high of 27 and a low of 18. Sunday the moisture lingers, producing overcast conditions and the same 27 to 18 band. Monday rebounds with a clear sky and a high of 29, low 19, as the ridge reasserts itself. Overall, the week stays warm, with only Saturday offering a brief rain window and a modest cooling spell. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic delays from roadwork and fireworks bridge closure, the Canadians, Gala Jour Trade and Citizenship, plus jazz and circus festivals. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Jacques Cartier Bridge is closed to car traffic this morning for the La Ronde fireworks, creating a bottleneck for drivers heading downtown or the South Shore. Expect queues on the Ville-Marie Expressway and Descoiries Boulevard as traffic diverts to the Viaduct and Champlain bridges. The closure stays in effect until midnight, so plan an alternate route if you're heading east. Roadwork continues on St. Denis Street between de Maisonneuve Boulevard East and St. Catherine Street East in the Espace St. Denis area. 2 lanes are reduced and slowdowns will persist until the 12th of July. Bayry Street and de Maisonneuve East Boulevard remain fully closed, forcing drivers onto Shairbrook and St. Laurent. Allow extra time. Other main routes, including the Trans-Canada and Highway 24, are moving freely, so you can stick to your usual path for the rest of the morning. This afternoon traffic should ease as the bridge reopens and construction stays steady. The evening rush will return to normal.
The Festival International de Jazz de Montreal kicks off today across the Quartier des Spectacles, offering dozens of free and ticketed concerts that turn the city into a non-stop soundtrack. If you're craving a more intimate vibe, head to X Terrace, Le Balcon for World of Soul, where only the righteous deliver a soulful blend of jazz, R&B, and funk, right in the heart of the Spectacles district. Families and thrill seekers will love Montreal Completement Cirque, with street-side big top acts, aerial feats and acrobatics lighting up parks and avenues throughout the city. Looking ahead, tomorrow the legendary Pink Martini will take the stage at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier for 2 nights of pop jazz glamour, and John Pizzarelli will honor Tony Bennett at Theatre Maisonneuve. And starting tomorrow, the 3-day Montreal Comic-Con erupts at the Palais des Congrès, promising comics, cosplay, and celebrity panels for pop culture fans. And now here's Tyler with sports.
Big moves and bigger honors, it has been a landmark stretch for Montreal hockey. Brendan Gallagher is heading west. The Montreal Canadiens have dealt the veteran forward to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations, according to CBC Sports. Gallagher spent years as one of the most identifiable players in a Canadian sweater before this off-season departure. Before leaving Montreal, Brendan Gallagher received a remarkable civic honor. The City of Montreal named the Canadiens forward an honorary citizen in a ceremony held at City Hall, according to CBC Sports. The recognition came just days before news of his trade to Vancouver. Montreal Canadiens goaltending legend Carey Price is headed to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Price headlines the 2026 inductee class alongside Patrice Bergeron, Pekka Rinne, Keith Tkachuk, and Cindy Curley in the player category, per CBC Sports, a well-earned destination for one of the game's greats.
Green Crust, a new vegan bakery and cafe tucked into Milan's historic Saint Viateur building, opened its doors on June 30, 2026. The shop serves plant-based pastries, artisan breads, and coffee, all crafted without animal products. With a menu that ranges from flaky croissants to seasonal fruit tarts, the bakery meets the growing demand for sustainable, cruelty-free food in the city. Its arrival adds a fresh culinary stop to the neighborhood, drawing both longtime residents and curious tourists to the already vibrant Milan streets. For Montrealers who value creativity and conscience, Green Crust shows how tradition can be reimagined, one bite at a time. It's already becoming a gathering spot for friends sharing stories over coffee. Later we'll share a moving tribute at the Bell Center, honoring a fallen Montreal police officer, a reminder of our community's strength.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on gmna for the local Sunset Montreal's evening newscast.
In the heart of the plateau, just beyond the bustling Rue Saint-Denis, the morning light spills onto the cobblestones, where the owners of 4 beloved Montreal eateries gathered for a modest celebration. Chef Dominique Boussachar of Montlapin stood beside his longtime sous chef, a trio of restaurateurs from Le Bremner to Quai, and damas, each holding a modest program from the world's 50 Best North America announcement. The air smelled of fresh herbs and warm baguette, a reminder of why these kitchens have become neighborhood landmarks. When the list was read, a quiet cheer rose as Montlapin was named 5th, the highest placement ever for a Quebec kitchen, while the other 3 establishments also secured spots within the top 50. The moment was more than a ranking. It was a testament to the city's dedication to hospitality, creativity, and the families who gather around shared tables. As the sun rose higher over Mount Royal, the chefs clinked glasses of locally brewed cider, grateful for the recognition, and for the community that keeps their doors open day after day.
On the banks of the St. Lawrence in East Montreal, a dust-covered lot that once housed a textile mill is waking up. Yesterday, the city unveiled a plan funded with 123 million Canadian dollars to transform the 30 million square foot stretch of vacant industrial land into a mixed-use neighborhood. The ceremony gathered local residents, the mayor and a crew of volunteers who planted the first row of maple saplings beside a refurbished brick warehouse that will host a community kitchen. 12-year-old Leia, one of the volunteers, said the moment her small hands brushed the soil felt like a fresh start for everyone who grew up watching the old smokestacks. As the sun slipped over the horizon, workers began installing solar canopies over a future park, while nearby artists unfurled murals echoing the area's industrial heritage. The payoff arrived when the first family moved into a completed loft, stepping onto a balcony that overlooks the river and the sprouted garden. Their smile, framed by the sunrise, captured the promise of a place that finally feels like home. It's a reminder that when a community comes together, even the quiet corners can find new life.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunrise. Tonight's Look at the Montreal Tree map reminded us how our city's green spaces reveal deeper social divides. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. Stay safe, stay curious, and see you at sunrise.